Defylogic here, and I'm going to be teaching the Ambitious card routine, which is a pretty long routine that, has the effect where it will just amaze your spectators because it's like they really have a connection to their card. So that's basically the premise. So this trick has a few simple steps, but basically the most important part is like the way you present it to people. So this is how I'm going to teach you the tutorial of it, and along the way I'm going to teach you some banner that you could use, something you could say while you're doing the routine. Okay, so basically this is it. So you give them the deck and you tell them go ahead and pick any card, right? So let's say any card that you feel that looks, just catches your eye. Sorry, it's my phone. Alright, so anything that just catches your eye. So let's say they picked the 2 of spades. Okay, so they don't need to show you, but if they want, they can show you. But for any reason, you just tell them, I think this card that you picked has a special connection with you, and that's why you picked it. So this is the first phase, okay? So the first phase, what you want to do, well, what I do personally is I get a marbles tilt in. So I show them this card is what you want, right? Whatever. This card is very special to you. This card is connected to you. And while you're presenting it like that, you push off with your pinky, with your thumb. You push off, get that pinky break, and you go into a marbles tilt. So I have a video on the marbles tilt specifically if you want. I'll link it in the description. So let's say you get that marbles tilt in, and you say, I'm going to go ahead and take your card and put it in the middle of the deck, right? So there it goes, right in the middle of the deck. Okay, so then this is what you want to do. You want to tell your spectator to snap their fingers. So let's say they snap their fingers, snap, and then you double lift. So you riffle down all the way until there's only 2 cards, right? See 2 right there. Anyways, so you double lift and you just tell them their card has jumped to the top, right? So basically this entire trick is mostly just double lifts. So you double lift back, you tell them, your card has jumped to the top, so we're going to try that again. They might be skeptical or something. So basically, the next phase involves this. You tell your spectator to lift off the bottom half of the deck, so they'll lift it off, right? So then you take that top card and you just put it in the middle. You don't let them see that card because it's not their card. Okay? So you put it right in the middle of the deck and you tell them, okay, right? You put it there and you just push it in slowly. So it creates that effect. And you say, would it be crazy if your card would just rise to the top in the snap of your fingers? So then you tell them to snap and they snap. And what do you know? Just single lift, right? And their card is at the top again. Alright, so at this instant you leave the card face up and you spread through them quickly, right? And the last 2 cards you get a pinky break right here. So only 2 here. Pinky break, you close them back. So now you have your pinky break right here, the last 2 cards at the bottom, and you want to transfer that to a thumb break. So you get your right hand and you just pick up that break. So from the front looks like this. From the back looks like this. You're holding it up. Okay? So now that that's done, what you want to do is keep that thumb break and you want to swing cut about half the deck into your other hand. So this card, their card, is still on top. It's still face up. And what you want to do is just flip it over casually. Push it up, right? But when you push it up, you want this deck or pile or whatever to be like on top of it, because this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna, while you push up, you want to drop these 2 cards on top of it. So basically they're right here. Okay? So when you drop those 2 cards on top of it, they're not supposed to see that, okay? You don't want them to see that you don't want them to see those 2 cards being put on top. So when you drop those 2 cards on top, really quickly flip your wrist before they can see anything and you show them, now I'm putting your card right into the top of this pile, right? So they think their 2 of spade is at the top, when in reality it's 3 cards down. Okay, so now what you want to do is pry open this packet in half, and then slip that top card, which isn't theirs, it's another random card. You want to slip it right into the middle of that, and then you want to just, with your thumb, reach over and open up the other half of the deck, and just put everything in there. Okay? At this point, you could just have them push in the card, or you could do it yourself, but I'd prefer them pushing it in. So they push it in, right? And then you say, well, I'm showing you proof that, you know, your card is connected to you and how it's going to jump to the top whenever you call for it. So if you want to, you could do this. If there's another person in the group, you could just say, you snap your fingers, and then you have them snap their fingers, and then this random person, it's not going to work. So let's say they snap their fingers, you just single lift, and it's just some random card. Okay? But then you have the other person whose the card is connected to snap their fingers, and you grab a double lift. So you double lift it, and boom, their card's on top again. So that's a pretty good moment for them, you know. It's like, it's mind-blowing, because like, you know, you showed them that it was on top, and you did all this like exaggerated mixing, and then it still goes to the top. So then after this, you're moving into the last part of the trick, where you slide up the top card, right? You slap about half of these cards, you slap it on top, like that. So at this point, their card's right here, okay? But what you want to do is say, well, I want to narrow it down, or like, I want to make it more difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and take half these cards and have you hold on to them. So let's say they hold on to it, and then you're just like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and push that in. So then you say, go ahead and snap. So let's say they snap, then boom, it's not there. So then, you know, they're like, what happened? I thought this was magic, you messed up, whatever. You kind of make it seem like you don't know what's going on, and then you have them snap again, and you check again, and it's, you know, the same card, and it didn't jump to the top. So then they're just like, you know, this guy is like bullshitting me or whatever. Then you say, you know, I think the problem is that you're holding the top half of the deck, and I'm holding the bottom half of the deck. It probably jumped into your hand. So they've been, the whole entire time, they've been holding this deck, right? So you tell them to check their card, and what do you know, it's their card. So that's pretty, it creates that illusion that it just jumped over to their hand. So that's a pretty powerful thing right there. And once you do this, it's pretty much over, and you know, you pretty much prove to them that it's going to come back to them no matter what. And it's a pretty amazing trick that you just have to memorize it, and you have to know. So go ahead and rewind that video a few times. You're probably going to have to, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.